Alright, what's up guys? Bailey here. So today, I'm bringing you guys a much different video than I usually do. I really love MMA, so I figured why not do a UFC 308 card prediction, you guys. But let me know if you guys want to see more content like this. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. So first off here, we got Magomedov versus Petrosian, I think. Sorry if some of these names I butcher. That's my apologies. So, here we go. Magomedov is 14-0. He's undefeated, while Petrosian has 9 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw or no contest. Hype level. For me, this is about a 7 right now. Like I said, nothing too big is sticking out besides this guy. Besides Magomedov. I had like a bowl cut there. Did you guys see that? Holy shit. So, Magomedov's strengths, in my opinion, are I think he's very well-rounded. He's an extremely well-rounded fighter. His striking is really, really good. He has a lot of knockout wins. His wrestling is good, obviously. I mean, just look at him. And his name is Magomedov, so. Also, he's undefeated, so he has all the momentum on his side on this one. He's just been taking everybody out, and everyone's been talking about him. And I think that just gives him so much momentum. And his fighting style, for example, is he just gives so much pressure to his opponents. And that, his cardio and his power easily is the best thing he has going on for him. Now Petrosian, he's great at mixing things up. His boxing is pretty good. His kicking, his leg kicks are pretty good. And which transitions to his striking. His striking is very solid from what we've seen. We haven't seen too much of him yet, only because he's 9-3, so it's kind of like, not very going up against high-level guys here. But he has good technique, and that's something that I do notice. His right hand and his head kick are 2 weapons that he can use that I think gives him a chance of winning. Now, that being said, I think Magomedov is going to finish him. I think he's going to knock him out in the second round, and I think that he's going to make pretty quick work out of him. I might be wrong, but that's just what I think. Next, we got Ankki versus Ratchi. Ankki is 19-1 and Ratchi is 14-4. For me, this is about an 8. This, to me, determines who the new contender for the light heavyweight title is, right? Both guys are pretty fucking good light heavyweights, right? Ratchi just came off a loss, from Yuri Prochazka when he got knocked out. Ankki, I think, just came off of a win with Johnny Walker when he knocked him out. I believe was the last fight that he had. Ankki, his wrestling is really, really good, especially for a big guy. In the light heavyweight division, not a lot of wrestlers. It's a lot of stand-up for the most part, and I think that's something that really is a huge contrast from like the champion, Alex Pereira, right now. But also, he's capable of finishing. He has a lot of, knockouts under his belt in terms of only having 21 fights in his career. He's knocked some guys out, man, and he mixes well. There's some things that I think do raise a concern or two. For example, not checking the leg kicks, right? We watched that fight against Jan Blachowicz, and that was a big factor in that fight. But Ankki is tough. Like I said, he's capable of finishing the job, and he doesn't mind going in there and finishing it up. But Ratchi, his striking is really, really good. And he's tough, and he's willing to scrap. Listen, his willingness to scrap is good, and you'll see this kind of a common theme throughout the card with some people. He's willing to scrap. He's willing to get down and dirty. He did it against Prochazka, and he's done it against some other guys, and he's just willing to just buckle down, and if he gets knocked out, then that's the way it is. And I think that Ratchi is going to win this fight. Now, I know that a lot of you guys are probably looking at me and going, Bailey, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and Ankki is going to take him down. No, I think Ankki, what happens is he goes in for the finish, and we saw this in the first Johnny Walker fight, and it almost fucking went wrong, where he hit him with a body shot, and he got a little overzealous and ran in, and Johnny Walker was this close to getting that high knee off of him. What if it landed? Who knows, right? I think that's something Ratchi can use to his advantage, where he gets stung or he gets hurt, and he runs in, he can tag him and knock him out. But I think Ratchi is going to win this fight. I think it's going to go the full way, but I just don't see Ankalaev winning, and if I do, it's really just because of his wrestling. But either way, I'm kind of indifferent on who wins here. So yeah. Next, we got Murphy versus Ige. Hype level is about a 3 for me. I really don't care too much for this fight. I like Dan Ige when he took that last-minute replacement against Diego Lopez. I thought he was a fucking stud. And to be honest, I want Ige to win just because I know him. I don't know this other guy. Listen, now Murphy, he's tough, and I'm mainly just getting all these from his performance against like Edson Barbosa, true measuring sticks of the division. Listen, he's tough, his striking is pretty good, and he has the element of surprise. We really kind of don't know what he's capable of right now, you know what I mean? And I think that there's still a lot more we can see from Murphy, right? And same for Ige, though, but Ige's down to scrap. He's not a punk, he's not someone who won't back down. He's down, and he's vicious, and he's powerful, and that's something that Murphy definitely has to watch out for in this fight. But I think Ige is going to win. I think, Murphy just isn't quite ready to face someone like Ige, but that's just me. Next, we got Whitaker and Chimaev. Now, if the next fight wasn't happening, this would be the people's main event. This is just my own personal opinion, right? So we got Robert Whitaker, 27-7, and then we got Khamzat Chimaev, 13-0. Hype level, this is about an 8 for me. I've been looking forward to this fight. I've been wanting it for quite some time. Both guys are going to get tested here, especially Khamzat Chimaev. Advantages Robert Whitaker has, right? Well, one, he's very experienced. He's been fighting at the highest level for a long time now. He's down to scrap too. He's down to stand and bang, whether he gets knocked out or not. He says, listen, you're here, I'm here, and let the chips fall where they may. His weapon, the 1-2 head kick, signature Robert Whitaker move that we all know, and it's very effective, and it seems to land every single time, despite everybody knowing what the weapon is, right? So now we have Khamzat Chimaev. His wrestling is good. He likes to be tested, and he's down to scrap too. Don't get it wrong, man. He scrapped good with Kamaru Usman. He scrapped good with Gilbert Burns. Now people are saying, well, he should have blown out Kamaru Usman because, Usman had a 2-week training camp on 2 weeks. You got to think, Kamaru Usman is debatably one of the welterweight GOATs right now. Yeah, that may have been a middleweight fight, but Kamaru Usman is at such a high level, he's not going to walk in and just get punked by someone, especially at that time, who was 12-0. You know what I mean? So I think that we need to give Usman a little more props here. And also to Khamzat Chimaev. Usman is not a fucking doormat. He's not like an average Joe Schmo. He's one of the GOATs. He definitely knows what he's doing. With that being said, I think Whitaker's going to win. But I think that Whitaker is going to knock him out in the 4th round. That's just what I think. I think that Khamzat gets a little too overzealous. And there's times where he was standing and banging with Gilbert Burns and he got caught. There's times where he was trying to box Usman, and Usman was boxing his ass up like an Amazon package. And I think that if Khamzat Chimaev gets overzealous, 1-2 head kick, boom, that's it. Robert Whitaker for the win. Next is the main event. We got Holloway versus Toria. For me, this is about a 9. I've been looking forward to this fight ever since it was announced, ever since it was leaked. We got Max Holloway, 26-7, and then we got Ilia Topuria, who's 15-0. So just some traits about these two, right? Max Holloway is extremely experienced. He hasn't lost to anyone in this division whose name wasn't Alexander Volkanovski, right? And I just think that if I'm Holloway, I'm feeling pretty good. He's 31 years old. Age isn't really a thing in this fight. Holloway's just been in the UFC for so long, it seems like he's old, when in all reality, he's not old at all. He's 31. He's still got some years left in him. Also, he's powerful, but not powerful in terms of one-hit knockout power, but in terms of if you get hit by him, it's going to hurt and you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? And also his volume. Max Holloway is a volume puncher. We saw this in his fight against Justin Gaethje, where the accumulation of damage was way too much for Justin Gaethje to handle. And, listen, Max Holloway's standing point, something just takes over Max Holloway. It's the adrenaline. Everything is at an all-time high in those last 10 seconds, and Holloway's down to scrap. We already know this. If anybody knows Max Holloway, this list is like the most obvious out of anything. But next we got Ilia Topuria. Listen, he's a very cerebral fighter. He's not someone who just goes in and just stands and bangs and kind of is a wild man. Not saying Max Holloway is. But, listen, his fight against Alexander Volkanovski, he picked him apart, especially leading to the knockout. He just, every shot that he throws and connects is crisp, it's powerful, and it's fast. And he has a lot of technique. And, just his sparring videos alone, he's just piecing up his partners, he's knocking them down, and he's just doing everything. He's just running through people. I don't think he's going to run through Max, but I do think that this will be Max Holloway's toughest fight yet. Just because Toria is just so smooth, so crisp and fast in his technique. Dare I say, I think he's the best boxer in UFC, just strictly from his technique. Just from a technical standpoint, I think Toria is the better boxer, and also he imposes his will. He really dictates where the fight goes. On the feet, he is El Matador. He dictates the direction, and that's why they call him that. Now, with that being said, my heart is telling me Max Holloway is going to win, but my brain is telling me that Ilia Topuria is going to win. But for me, I think Max Holloway is going to win. I think he's going to shock the world. And I think that Topuria is going to get too overzealous. I think something is going to happen where Topuria's confidence, it might get the best of him. And I see Topuria not getting knocked out necessarily, but I think that this fight's going to go one of two ways, right? Max is going to put on an absolute clinic against Topuria, or it's going to be a dogfight, and there's really no in between. I think it really just depends what kind of Topuria we see. We already know what Max Holloway is going to bring. We already know this. We already know the intensity. We already know what he's going to do. We just need to find out what type of Ilia Topuria we are going to see on 308. But ladies and gentlemen, these are my official card predictions for UFC 308. Let me guys know in the comments, what do you guys think about my predictions? Who do you guys think is going to win? And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.